Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight, we get On Point. If only it had been caught earlier. It's a phrase we often hear when talking about serious illnesses such as cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Fortunately, the landscape of medicine has shifted dramatically, with technological advances making earlier detection more possible than ever. And one hospital is leading the way by bringing the next frontier of diagnostic imaging here in the country. Let's get on point with doctors Maricar Reyes and Nelson Pasia. They are the heads of the Department of Radiology at St. Luke's Medical Center Global and Quezon City. Doctors, good to have you on board. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm really interested about this subject.
Good evening, Pinky. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you.
Okay, I know you're both very busy, but let's start with this. I understand that obviously St. Luke's has this two recent groundbreaking advancements, as we should call it. It's the photon-counting CT scan, and then the other one is the whole-body MRI. But before we get into that, I just want to get a sense of how different medical technology is compared to maybe 5 or 10 years ago. Dr. Reyes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so medical imaging. So when we say medical imaging, on the radiology, you have, of course, advances have been happening so fast in MRI, in CT scan, and actually, you've mentioned already the photon-counting CT. I mean, to many, a CT may just be another CT scan, but then a photon-counting CT is actually, it represents very significant advancement in CT technology in the last decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Pasia, what about you?
Yeah, the photon counting is one of the innovations in CT scan that lessens the radiation. So this would be very beneficial to our patients, especially to the pediatric cases. Lesser radiation, but better image quality. So that the diagnosis is better as compared to the traditional CT scan. Now, we also have the whole body MRI. This whole body MRI is a new examination. This is an additional tool we use for screening. Of course, there is dedicated screening protocol for different parts of the body. But the whole body MRI is an additional tool that we offer in St. Luke. So this we are providing the Filipino people options. If you are one of those people na who wants to be proactive in taking care of your health, then you ask for a whole body MRI.
Okay. While we're at it, when one wants to do an MRI, a whole body MRI, because frankly, I've heard about it just very recently as well, and it's very interesting. I was even telling my parents about it. If one was to do an MRI whole body, do you need a doctor's order, or can you just go to St. Luke's and say, I want to do a whole body MRI?
Well, if you just want a screening, I mean, you don't have any known diseases, you don't have any known cancer, an individual could walk in to St. Luke's and request that a whole body MRI be performed on him or her.
So you don't need a doctor's order for this?
But I think it's also good if you package it with our wellness program because we have to see the big picture. And the whole body MRI is just one part of it. You also have to have your laboratories and other imaging. So I think
they go hand in hand, executive checkup and the total body MRI. Because ang nakasanayan po natin sa MRI are parts of your body, like maybe the upper spine, right? The lower spine or the knee, your right knee, your left knee, ganon. Now it does it from
head to the mid-thigh. So we do a screening for that. We sweep it. For example, for the head, what do you want to screen? Number one is aneurysm. There are patients na bigla na lang pumuputok yung ano. So we can monitor for aneurysm and sub-centimeter lesions. Maliit pa lang yung tumor, madidetect na natin by using the MRI. For the neck, lesions again, tumors. But for the chest, we have actually sa chest we have the dedicated chest CT dapat. So, but we can monitor your spine, your thoracic spine for the chest. For the abdomen, we can assess your solid organs such as your liver, pancreas, kidneys, and. But of course, if you want to evaluate your colon, we have dedicated colonoscopy, which is not part of the whole body MRI.
Yeah.
So what I mean is that this is an adjunct. This is not a replacement to those dedicated screening modalities per system.
All right. So when we hear the terms CT scans and radiology, it becomes very intimidating. Medyo hindi lang intimidating, actually minsan nakakatakot siya. Siguro, what are the biggest? Tell us the biggest misconceptions about having MRI and CT scans.
Siguro, one thing about CT scan or radiology examinations in general, maybe people are afraid to have their tests done when they hear the word radiation. Because parang when you hear the word, parang it's something scary.
Yeah.
It's something that's actually disease-causing rather than actually helping the patient know the disease. So I think that's one of the misconception.
Okay.
So takot sila.
Yeah.
Radiation.
Because of the word radiation.
Radiation, yeah.
Kasi also when you have to go through the machine, as what we were showing a while ago, normally yung unang tanong, well, you have to stay in place for, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes, hindi ho ba?
Yeah,
Depende kung
yeah,
ano yung
yeah.
chine-check na
Yes.
part ng katawan.
And
So,
maybe
isa pa
one
yun.
more kasi is people are afraid to know what's inside.
Yeah.
So the psychological part of it, ayaw nila malaman.
Dapat malaman natin, Dr.
Yeah.
Pasia, right? Because maintenance, prevention is key.
Correct. The goal is you have to take care of your body while you are healthy. You don't go to your doctor once may symptoms ka na. You have to remember, if you have symptoms na, it means there's something there na. So, with the whole body MRI, we look at those silent lesions na wala pang symptoms, we can detect na. Now, this detection, once we do it, then it will change the management. So,
Kaya
we
nga
can-
sinasabi
yeah.
nila, let's be proactive
Correct.
and not
Yeah.
reactive.
Yeah.
Us patients and of course modern technology
Yes.
and doctors
Yeah.
themselves. No. All right. So what we understand is that St. Luke's has been highly investing into these high-end imaging machines. Siguro for St. Luke's, let's talk about how many MRIs you have there before we get into the details of MRI and the photon. Ilan ho ba sa St. Luke's Global?
In St. Luke's Global, we have 5 MRI machines at present.
Okay, Dr.
Yeah.
Pasia.
Currently in Quezon City, we have 3, but we are preparing for additional at the end of the year.
All
so
right.
it will be 4 at the end of the year.
And I think we were talking about it. Dr. Reyes, is it okay to say what you told me a while ago, that you guys have the...
Most number of MRI in a hospital in this country.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive deeper into what we'd like to discuss, this photon-counting CT scan, and of course, the whole body MRI, but we need to take a very short break. We'll continue our discussion with Dr. Maricar Reyes and Dr. Nelson Pasia when we return. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. Still with us, Dr. Maricar Reyes and Dr. Nelson Pasia. They are the heads of the Department of Radiology at St. Luke's Medical Center. Now let's get into the details. Ito pong photon-counting CT scan. Of course, St. Luke's is the very first, I believe, medical institution that brought in this photon-counting CT scan technology. They're big words to a lot of us. Tell us more about it,
Yeah.
Dr. Reyes.
Yeah, so photon-counting CT, it's the newest CT technology that is in the market. So unlike, we refer to the traditional CT as conventional CT scan. So both CT technology uses X-ray energy. Yeah.
So si CT, X-ray energy ang
X-ray
ginagamit
energy,
niya.
yeah.
Si MRI,
We use radio waves
Yun,
to,
radio
for
waves.
image
Yes.
acquisition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how much better is this photon CT scan? Sorry,
So,
yes.
Yeah. So let's put it this way so everyone may be able to understand. So for example, you want to check the number of people entering a stadium. So you're outside the stadium and you want to know the number of people entering the stadium. So a conventional CT scan would actually can measure the weight of the entire people who passed through the gate.
Okay.
So it measures the weight. But then the photon-counting CT goes a step further. It actually counts every individual that passes the gate. So it's not just the totality of it, but actually the individual passing through it. So in photon-counting CT, it counts every photon energy. So that's why it functions more efficiently. So it produces sharper images. It can characterize tissues better. And then it does it at a faster time and with potentially less radiation than a conventional CT scan.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's would it be just correct to say it's a more precise imaging?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of ano ho bang hinahanap sa CT scan?
In CT scan, we look for potential diseases, right? So with when you undergo an imaging, ang hinahanap dun syempre is meron ba diyang something abnormal in the body. And because of this photon counting CT, it sees pathologies or abnormalities even yung mas maliit
Yeah.
than a conventional CT scan.
I see.
And if something is abnormal there, because it has a better tissue characterization, it tells you what that abnormality is made of. It can potentially give you that information, not just what is there, but what is the abnormality made of.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess one of the major concerns of patients is yung repeated radiology, hindi ba?
Repeated examination,
Yes.
repeated radiation.
Radiation
Yeah,
rather,
yeah.
oo. And this, sabi mo, so earlier, that this actually, there is less radiation
Yes.
with this photon CT scan.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very good. What more can you tell us about it?
Well, we see impact of this photon counting CT in many fields of medicine. But then one of the most exciting uses of photon counting CT is looking at the blood vessels of your heart, the coronary arteries.
Okay.
Yeah, because it can see the vessels more clearly, even in patients with heavy calcification or calcific deposits
Yeah.
inside their coronary arteries, or those who had previous stent already. So that's a challenge with the conventional CT scan. But then with the new photon counting CT, it really helps us see things better. It can see the insides better.
So that's going to be very encouraging, at least now, for those who may have to undergo a CT scan. Let's talk about the MRI. Siguro very briefly, Dr. Pasia, Dr. Reyes, what is the difference between wag na lang difference, who undergoes a CT scan and who undergoes an MRI? Minsan ho kasi napapag-interchange ng mga pasyente yung dalawa eh.
Well, the best person to tell you that would be the clinicians. They will be saying that they are looking for something. These two imaging modalities has different functions. So sometimes it's complementary.
Okay.
You should not be choosing one. So it can complement each other. So there are certain diagnoses that you need the MRI and some diagnoses that you need a CT scan.
Yeah.
So it's not which, or it could be both.
Yeah.
So
I know. Definitely,
So
it's
now,
up to the doctor.
Correct. But now, what are some indications now you would prefer CT scan? In MRI, it's it's a tubular structure. So you think you are in a coffin. So claustrophobic patients have difficulty getting scanned. So that's why we opt to a CT scan.
I
So
see.
number two, those with pacemakers. So it used to be absolute contraindication, but right now it's a relative contraindication. So those are certain MRI safety concerns that we have to evaluate. And rest assured, in St. Luke's, we have a doctor who screens the patient prior to undergoing MRI.
Got it. So let's talk about this whole body MRI. Please tell us more about this. I read that you can be scanned from head to, yun na nga po, mid-thigh. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
Tell us.
The whole body MRI is a complete package. Why? Because it came from our modern machines. Number two, we have a software for artificial intelligence software, and we have radiologists who trained abroad for this specific examination. So it's the combination of those three. So to provide the Filipino patients of a good screening tool, which can complement or be an additional tool to taking care of your health.
Okay, I'm going to ask this again because this is going to be very important. Who is the ideal candidate for this?
Okay, the ideal candidate are those individuals who are proactive in taking care of their body, and those who has relatives who had cancers. And if you are thinking that you might also have cancer, I think it's a good screening tool. And of course, this is for your peace of mind. And of course, other candidates are those who already have dedicated screening, but who wants to go further.
Okay, so that's one. The machines, I understand, of course, they're not new machines, but they're new advancements. Tama,
Yeah.
Dr. Pasia, to this whole body MRI. I just want to make that clear because when I was reading through this, I thought there was a new machine for the MRI. It's a new application or technology or service, no?
We are using the most modern machines because they can function as a whole body MRI equipment. Yeah.
Personally, though, as heads of the radiology department, how encouraging is this for both you doctors?
Well, the goal is for the Filipinos not to go to abroad or to Singapore for an option of additional imaging procedures. So the goal is to provide an option for Filipino patients that we have here in St. Luke's.
Yeah.
So no need to go abroad. We have competent doctors in St. Luke's. We have the most modern machines. We have the most updated software. And this is for everyone So we will share
of,
it.
no?
Yeah.
Dr. Reyes, what about you?
Yeah, so...
I mean, we hear a lot of stories, right, of that people are going to, let's just already name it, as Dr. Pasia said,
Yeah.
Singapore. And I actually, this is anecdotal, but I had a talk very recently with some people who actually, this person was actually going to Singapore too. And then the other person who I was beside with said, why? We actually have everything here, exactly what Dr. Pasia was saying. Please, siguro also good to inform the public.
Yeah. Investing in these new technologies and advanced technologies is not just for the sake of investing in it or owning a cutting-edge technology. So St. Luke's invested in these new technologies because we want to give the best service to our Filipino patients, right? That's actually the spirit or the motivation in investing these technologies. Because when you have the best machine, the best tool, and you have the best doctor who can interpret these images, so best images would lead to best decision, and that best decision would ultimately impact on best or better patient care.
Are the photon-counting Photon City and the whole body MRI available both in Global and in Quezon City in St. Luke's?
No, the photon counting for QC will be, I think, next year.
Okay. So nauna si Global.
Nauna lang
si
naman.
Dr.
Yeah, but I am one of those consultants who read the photon counting. It's very useful for me in cardiac imaging, as Doctora said. Evaluation of stents and bypass grafts are very easier in photon counting. Hence, a different management by the cardiologist is warranted because of the photon count.
For those who are watching us right now, I understand, of course, that we were talking about prevention. Being proactive definitely is the best way to go, and prevention is key. Talking about executive checkups, plus these two advancements in St. Luke's, what would you advise to those watching us right now? Of course, I know that executive checkups are supposed to be done, are advised to be done once a year, hindi ho ba?
Yes.
But a lot of us skip that,
Yeah.
shall I say. Maybe it's good to talk to those watching us now. What should we be always remembering about our health when it comes to checkups and these advancements that you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, majority of people here in the room, I'm sure you have your own cars, and then you make sure that your car goes
have it
regular
maintained.
checkup, di ba?
Yeah.
Maintenance, right? So why not do it to your own body? Sabi nga nila, we only have one body, no? Pag nawala yan, wala nang kasunod, eh, no? So you really have to keep that in mind, no? And then before, maybe radiology would answer the question, what disease does the patient have? But now with modern imaging, maybe the right question would be, can we find the disease before it becomes symptomatic? Yeah, and modern imaging could really help answer that.
Dr. Pasia.
Yeah, I think Doctor is correct. If you can maintain your car or your house, you have to invest time to take care of your body. And of course, if early diagnosis changes management, so a late diagnosis will really be very expensive for you. So unlike an early diagnosis, it could be much cheaper siguro. So think of it as a financial decision.
Investment, no?
Correct.
Yeah, actually now I'm feeling guilty because I think that it's a good way of looking at it. If we take care of our homes, if we then need to take care even of our cars, so hindi po siya pumalya at some point. What more our
at
bodies?
certain age, you have to maintain your body. You have to actively. And it's your effort that will
Let's talk about the next frontier for St. Luke's Radiology Department. What can we expect, Dr. Reyes?
Of course, artificial intelligence. I mean, it's one of the most amazing advancement in the medical field right now. But apart from artificial intelligence, of course, you should expect from St. Luke's Medical Center to continue investing on innovation. Yeah, because it's not just investing in innovation per se, but actually the goal is we want to give better service, better patient care, and we want to give imaging services that actually has the patient safety topmost in our minds.
Dr. Pasia, are there any other machines that we should look out for, anticipate, or are coming soon?
Yeah, there are some, but I'm not okay to say it's not a definite yes for now because we have to assess if it's scientifically or if it's clinically feasible to do it here, especially those used for research. Yeah.
All right. So, any last words?
I would also like to highlight, not just the machines, because the machines are there, it acquires images, but then it doesn't give you the diagnosis. So our radiologists at St. Luke's Medical Center underwent years of training to be able to give you the best and most accurate interpretation for all the imaging services that you acquire in St. Luke's.
Dr. Pasia.
Yeah, I think for our Filipino patients or the Filipinos, if you don't have to go abroad to have the best medical service, we can provide that for you. And we are constantly looking for innovations in our field. So rest assured that you are in good hands.
Dr. Maricar Reyes and Dr. Nelson Pasia, heads of the Department of Radiology of St. Luke's Medical Center in Quezon City and Global. Doctors, I know you're very busy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
And that's On Point. Join us again on Monday at 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.